This is the Diamond Niner Fans Podcast Rehydration Edition. You're listening to lucky episode number 13 for the week of May 14th, 2018. Nick and Kevin are back for another week.
What's up, Niner Nation?
As always, producer Brad in the house.
Go!
Kevin, been drinking water all afternoon, man. It was a hot one at the Hayes this weekend.
Man, it was like a midsummer weekend. In the 90s all weekend. It was we're not used to it yet. We went straight from winter. We had 2 weeks of spring, and then we had summer.
Yeah.
Midsummer.
Yeah. And folks, I mean, y'all know this. The Hayes is one of my favorite spots on earth. It is a glorious place. But man, when there are no clouds in the sky, there is nowhere to hide from that sun.
Yeah. There's a few spots up on the hill.
Few spots,
but no, and up in the concession area. But yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of shade out there. But yeah, you're gonna get some sun. That's for sure. And I can imagine on that turf out there, it's a little bit warmer.
Oh man. But you know why? You know why it didn't matter in the end, Kevin? You know why I'm completely okay with how hot it was?
Because we got 3 games this week.
3 W's. 3 W's. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk all about that. The weekend's activities. And a lot of stuff happened at the Hayes this weekend. Before we do that, though, I want to drop in a little note about last week's show. You guys don't know this, but last week's show was the most heavily edited episode that we've ever done. How many times did we have to stop last week's show? 3 times?
At least 3, yeah.
At least 3 times. We had to stop, and the recording kept going. Producer Brad just edited it all out. Why did we have to keep stopping, Kevin?
Well, my microphone was attached to the table here, and about 6 or 7 times it just would smack me in the mouth, and I was almost eating it several times. So at one point I was just holding it, and we had to call a couple 20-second timeouts during the show. But at the end, we just played through the injury. And
if y'all could have seen it, it was hilarious. There were several times. I mean, I know y'all get the feeling that sometimes I say stuff just to do it, but literally last week I was saying things just to give him time to gather up his microphone. And finally he just says, okay, we got to stop. But what was so great about it was producer Brad gets up and he's working on the microphone stand, and everything's still recording, and we're still, some of that stuff, it's on the editing room floor somewhere, right? It was probably some pretty good stuff. In fact, I dare say that probably the best parts of last week's show were edited out by producer Brad.
I'm pretty sure they were, yeah, because
it was, yeah.
There may have been 1 or 2 curse words that were edited out as well.
As Kevin's microphone it was intent on attacking him. So we thought we would throw that in because it came out all right. Of course, the edit job by producer Brad was exceptional, but it was still pretty funny.
Yeah, and we've got some new equipment here today. Producer Brad getting it done, man.
We switched out. We got a different piece of equipment for Kevin, so he should be safe.
Got to take care of the talent, right?
and us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And us, the talent and us.
You doing okay, Brad?
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Oh, there it goes. Have you ever noticed that producer Brad sounds a lot like Bob Uecker?
It's one of my favorite clips.
That's a great one. All right, so nobody's listening anyway. Let's get ready to talk about some baseball because we got some pretty cool stuff to talk about. Drop our contact info in just in case anybody wants to reach out to us. We love hearing from you guys. Feel free to reach out. Diamond Niner Fans on Twitter, Diamond Niner Fans on Facebook, or diamond9erfans@gmail.com if you want to reach out, provide feedback, whatever. We love hearing from you guys. All right, Kevin, let's jump in and talk a little baseball here, man. Niners go 3-0 in the week, no midweek game. But this was a huge series coming up this weekend with Marshall for a number of reasons. Niners get all 3 wins, go 3-0. We'll talk about the conference race here in a minute, but man, let's just start with that Friday night game and kind of. Well, actually, where we need to start on Friday night is actually before the game starts, right?
Yeah,
we need to start. We need to start before the game on Friday to talk about this weekend.
Yeah, well, Zach Flanagan, senior on the team. He I guess he's technically retired last year. He had an arm injury during the Middle Tennessee game last year. It was the day of the spring football game as well. I remember being at that game, and
he was having a great season for us.
Yeah, good season. Yeah, unfortunately he left that game early, and that was it for him. Re-injured his arm, his throwing arm, and he had to just sit out this year. But he stayed on the team, and he was assistant coach with the program, and he helped develop the team that produced for the team that way as an assistant coach or a volunteer coach or a student coach. Mm-hmm. But yeah, before the game, he's a senior. He's graduating. His girlfriend on the softball team, she's a senior. She graduated, and they were throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah, we had two softball players, right?
Yeah.
Haley Wiseman, which is Zach's girlfriend, and then Haley Pace was also there throwing. They're two girls, 2 seniors throwing out first pitches there on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there tons of work went into setting this up, but yeah, they were both throwing the first pitch for the Friday night game at the Hayes, and Zach was, of course, catching one, and the opening pitches are thrown. He drops the glove and ball and drops on a knee, pulls out a ring out of his back pocket, and pops the question. And
she even says yes and everything.
Wow, well, that was he batting 1,000, right?
Hey, that's he did that way better than I did it. Way better than I did it. In public places are good too because it kind of
peer pressure is good.
Yeah, that's right, peer pressure. So yeah, we had as far as I'm aware of, I don't know about anybody else getting engaged on the field before a game.
Not at the Hayes, at least.
I don't recall that ever happening. I don't think it has. And so, and I think Sean Fox did confirm this, right? 1-0, or the Niners are 1-0 when somebody gets engaged before the game.
Yeah, well, we're still 1-0, right?
Still 1-0. So, because no one else, as far as we know of, no one else got engaged at the ballpark the rest of the weekend.
At least not in public view.
Yeah, I mean, if it did, hey, drop us a line. We want to hear about that. If you got engaged at the ballpark this weekend and you're not Zach Flanagan, we'd still love to hear about that. But as far as we know, 1 engagement and 1-0 after such events. So,
congrats to those two on their engagement. And
yeah, awesome.
It's always great to see marrying Niners. Hopefully creating little Niner fans.
Yeah, don't want any of those mixed marriages,
No, we
keep it in the family.
We gotta build our fan base the old-fashioned way, right?
That's right. Building Niner Nation, one birth at a time. Beautiful thing. Don't you love that, Kevin?
That's awesome.
They just got engaged and we're already talking about their kids.
That's what we do, man.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Awesome deal, and really an awesome night at the Hayes too. Did end up having a little bit of a weather delay in the game, but the game was
a 49-minute weather delay.
It was a 49-minute weather delay. By the way, the rain delay playlist at the Hayes is on point. We had not heard it this season, as far as I can recall, and it was pretty good. Pretty good. Whoever's in charge of that, you're doing your job well.
I'm glad they got a chance to break that out, man. They're sitting on it all year, probably.
It was good. I liked it. It was good. So let's talk. Let's actually talk about a little baseball here. Niners do get the win on Friday night. Another great 6-4. Another good performance by Josh.
Yeah.
He gets the job done and gets Jonah comes in to finish it off in the ninth. But another good performance.
Yeah, another Friday, another great Josh outing. 8 innings pitched. He only gave up 5 hits and 2 earned runs. Struck out 10. He struck out 10 guys.
10 batters.
He struck out 9 the previous 2. Then he struck out 5 last week, and then 10 this week. Another great performance. ERA down to 2.55. He's once again saved our bullpen for the weekend. Patton pitched 1 inning, closed it out. But 6-4 victory. Niners bats. We had a big insurance homer by Dominic Camarada. Mm-hmm. And I think it was in the in the 7th inning. Had a 3-run 7th. So great overall victory. Great Friday night at the Hayes. Lots of production from the lineup. 6 runs on the board. Josh pitched well, and Patton closed it out. So good start to the series on Friday.
Yeah, if you give Josh 6 runs, he can work with that.
Yeah. Let's see. He went to 8-2 on the season. He threw 114 pitches, 80 for strikes. So, I mean, pretty efficient. After a 49, he came back after the 49-minute rain delay, and was still pumping it in there. Still
striking dudes out. Well, that's amazing. You and I were talking during the delay. It's like, wow, this drags on. Is he going to be able to, stay warm and get back out here? The better part of an hour goes by. He comes back out, and not only does he come back out, I mean, he comes back out dealing.
Yeah, striking dudes out. Yeah, and you never know. I mean, he's a young guy, and he's got the adrenaline pump, and he's not gonna. I don't think he would go out like that with the delay as a scene. His last start at the Hayes, he wasn't going out like that. So bounce back and another.
And you got to figure. I mean, it's. Well, be careful how I say that. It's not that it's his call, but I mean, Doty's probably going. They're talking after this, right? How you feel, and your senior making his last start says, "I feel like going back out there." Then he's going back out there.
Yeah. And he deserves it. I mean, he's pitched great all season, and he deserves to put a stamp on his home pitching career as a 49er. So, and he did that. So great season for him at home. Got one more regular season start for him, and we'll see what happens in the tournament.
That's he did a great job sort of putting that exclamation point on his career at home. Great outing. So we get the win, and as you say, the great thing Josh has done all year long is he saved our bullpen. We really used no one going into Saturday, right? And then we get to Saturday, Brooks is on the mound, and we really don't use that much either because Brooks goes deep into the game on Saturday. Yeah,
I mean, he went 6 strong, and we pitched a shutout on Saturday. 6 strong. He only gave up 6 hits, scattered 6 hits, 0 earned runs, only walked 1. Mm-hmm. We got 4 Ks, over 103 pitches. Big time win. I mean, he's been battling all year, and he's had ups and downs, and he ended the home season with a big up this season, this weekend.
Yeah.
Then he gave way to Horky. Horky's another senior that probably his last
home appearance.
Last home appearance, and 3 strong shutout innings, no hit innings actually. 3 no hit innings, 3 strikeouts, no walks. So he's he picked up the save, I believe, on that one. Brooks got the win. Horky got his 3rd save of the season. 3-inning save. It's a pretty good, and 0 runs across the board. Yeah,
I mean, and they were looking good. The offense did what it needed to do. Really, if you look at the offensive production on Saturday, it's interesting where the production came from. Because if you look at this, the hits, Elwood goes 3 for 4. Tommy goes 2 for 4. Zach Smith has one of his bigger days of the year and goes 2 for 3 with 3 RBI. The production was coming from sort of that really the bottom half of the lineup, where it was coming from.
And we really didn't have the big hits. We didn't have any extra base hits. So I mean, we kind of just pieced it together, or pieced 6 runs together. And and of course it was good enough to get the victory. But yeah, like I said, bottom of water had lots of production in that game. We didn't really get the extra base hits, but we manufactured runs, and that's the way to do it.
Yeah, got it done. And Saturday, of course, also a really cool day just at the ballpark in general, with senior day festivities before the game. If you follow us on Twitter, we've got the videoed most of that there. I think I got all of it. The video of the senior day stuff is on there. Kevin, the way I looked at it is this, and I was just thinking about this as I was standing there watching it. You can't feel anything but pride as you watch that. These guys that bought into this program and have put so much of their effort and so much of their lives at this point, their young lives, have put so much into that moment, right? And they're coming out there on the field with their parents, with their families around them, and they got the frame jersey. And it's sad because you're looking at these guys, they're moving on. But on the other hand, you're so proud, because this is the program goes on, year after year. And when we were talking a few weeks ago about the reunion, seeing those guys coming back, this is just a part of that process, and it's just really cool to be a part of it and to watch it happen.
Right. It's always one of my favorite days of the year at the Hayes. It's great to see these guys get honored with their family, and we followed these guys. Some of them 4, some of them 5 years, some of them just 2 years, and we get to know some of them, and some more than others. But it's always a bittersweet day seeing those guys. Like you said, it's over for some of them. Their career as a 49er is coming close to an end, and
don't forget the families too. I mean, we baseball families. I mean, we see this with the road teams that come in every week. I mean, they always have baseball families travel, right? And when you have 4 years sitting in the stands with certainly their parents, but in other instances, their grandparents, aunts, uncles, what have you, you get to know these people. And then when they graduate, it's like, you're losing more than just the guy on the field too, Yeah,
you're losing folks in the stands too, but it's always a picture of Coach and all the seniors out there on the field is one of my favorite pictures of the year. So I got a bunch of them saved.
In our own macho way, Kevin and I are trying to say that it's emotional for us, and that we're sad to see guys go, but we're way too macho to admit that.
I'm not too macho. I'll miss the guys. Like I said, we follow them for a long time, and it's good to follow their careers, and it's good to see them when they come back to campus. Like you said, with sort of those reunions and supporting their buddies, and it's part of building the program, right?
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So we move on to Sunday. The game. This is Sunday night. We're talking here, and what a game today. Friday night was all about we took care of business that we needed to do. Saturday was phenomenal with the shutout, and the offense did its part. The pitching was phenomenal, but then today, Sunday, was just a battle. It always seems to come down to Sunday with for us and with this team. We've been trying to figure out Sunday on the pitching front. Cooner is set to go, but apparently had some soreness in his arm, had some just things didn't feel right this morning. So he's scratched. Hopefully he's okay, and can help us going forward, because we're going to need him by the time we get to Biloxi for sure.
Yes, definitely.
So he's got soreness in his arm. So here comes Chase Gooding for a start, and let's just go through and talk about today. Today was crazy.
Yeah, well, Chase has got his first Conference USA start of his career. Got thrown right in the mix. He started big games for us over the season. He started at the Uptown game, one of the Uptown games. He started on the road a few midweek games, but this was his first Conference USA start. He did pretty good for his first outing. He went into the third, only gave up 2 hits, 2 earned runs. felt similar to a midweek game. We kind of piecing guys together with 3 here, 3 there, 2 there, here.
We had used 4 pitchers through 2 games coming in today. We only used the 2 starters, and Jonah came out and Horky came out.
Yeah, so everybody was fresh.
So we had no midweek game. So nobody had any work that they had done in the week as far as game action. And how many did we use? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys today.
Yeah, and towards the end of the game, we only had like 2 guys left in the pen. I thought we were on pace to be using those guys, but we only win 11. Only win 11 innings.
11 innings. On the hottest day of the year. Marshall jumped on us for 2 in the 3rd inning, and then we bounced back and got 2. Built a 2-run lead. I think Smith had a sac fly, get one of those, or there was a wild pitch Smith scored on. So we got 2 back. So 2-run lead. They tied it in the 6th with was it a single? They had a single, tied the game at 4. Yeah.
And no one scored until the bottom of the 11th. I think during the broadcast mentioned that Niners, their last hit was in the 4th inning. They didn't get a hit 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and
5 hits on the day.
Yeah, 4 hits in the first 4 innings, and then got 1 big hit when it mattered in the bottom of the 11th. So,
and I don't, the explanation for these things when they happen, how does a thing like this happen? It's not like they were not making contact. We just went into one of those deals where, we were hitting the ball pretty sharply in some cases, but we were hitting it right where they were.
Yeah, there were some shots, especially in the infield. Third base, shortstop late in that game that were rockets, but they were right at guys, and just couldn't get anything rolling. We had. I
think we say this every week, but baseball is a funny game.
It is. Sometimes you find a hole, sometimes you don't. But yeah, they kept battling like they always do. They kept getting outs. Our bullpen, look, the last. They didn't score. They didn't score 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, or 11th. So our bullpen held them for 5 innings. We had, Gooding went 2 2/3. Perry came in for 1 2/3. Then Craver came in, senior. He pitched an inning. Pinckney came in for 2/3, and then we went with Morrison for 1 2/3. Bruce for 1 2/3, and then Patton for 1 2/3. So yeah, those last 4 guys gave up 0 earned runs.
A staff effort today.
Yeah, definitely. Kept us in the game. Our bats were stone cold, and they kept us in the game. The pitching kept us in the game late in that game, and we finally came through in the 11th with. I think Zach Smith had a 1-out walk. He got bunted over by Hunter Jones. He's been doing that his whole career, doing what the team needs to get the runners in scoring position. And he bunted them over today. Pinch ran. Tate Pennington pinch ran for him, and of course,
Reese got the job done.
Reese is at the plate, and he drives a double in the gap.
And how huge is that? Because Reese had really the whole top part of our lineup this weekend had some struggles, but Reese was really kind of dragging there, and look, he needed something to go right for him at the plate. His defense is always on point, but at the plate, how many times we see this? A guy kind of hits a rough patch, and just something needs something to break out of that, and hopefully that's what we got for Reese right there.
Right. Yeah. We had already pulled Dom for a pinch runner, and then we pulled Smith for a pinch runner. So we were kind of putting all the chips in, I thought, at that point.
Going all in.
And Reese came through clutch with the walk-off double, drove in Pennington for the sweep, got the big sweep over Marshall, and kept us up in 4th place in the standings.
Yeah. One thing, and it really didn't matter either way, but one thing we saw today, Marshall's coach got ejected. Okay, and we saw that last weekend with Western Kentucky's coach. In fact, we
A couple times.
we applauded him when he didn't get thrown out on Sunday. But I don't know what the backstory was between this coach, because there really hadn't been anything overly controversial at that point in the weekend. But this was the quietest ejection I've ever seen. In fact, their coach didn't even get all the way to the first base umpire. The first base umpire is the one that threw him out. He was coaching third, so he had to get all the way across the diamond. He entered the field of play before time was called. There was the ball was still live, and there was a close play at first, runner called out. He starts across the diamond to argue the ball is still live, and he's walking. He's about to the pitcher's mound before time gets called. And he doesn't even get all the way to the first base umpire. Nobody's yelling. He's saying something, but nobody's yelling. And before he even gets there, the first base umpire, and he kind of does it kind of lackadaisical too, just kind of leans back like he's going to kind of throw toss. And he gives him the heave-ho. And then the other two umpires had to come over and like get in between him and the first base umpire. I don't know what was said, but obviously he was upset about the play, but that didn't happen right then. Because their coach, he didn't have a chance to say, he didn't yell. He wasn't close enough to bump him. And whatever was said in a plain tone of voice. and it wasn't much. And he got run right then.
Well, you can't talk about someone's mother on Mother's Day, so that's probably
maybe that's what he said.
Yeah, so that's
maybe
probably,
he said something about his mom.
Yeah, that's an instant ejection on Mother's Day.
But it was the quickest and the quietest ejection that I recall seeing.
Yeah, well,
I can't even. The play was close. He was out, by the way. But the play was close. He was going to come over and argue, but the argument never even happened. He got thrown out before the argument.
Preemptive ejection.
And yeah, it's before you even begin. So I don't know. But to your point, great weekend, 3 wins. Niners took care of business. Today was a lot. I mean, I think if you listen to Coach Hibbs' comments after the game, I mean, today was a lot closer than they wanted it to be. They wanted to take care of Marshall and get out of there, and win 11 innings.
I mean, we've seen it all year, though. I mean, this team is a grinded out type of team, and
yep.
They're not going to blow any guys out. They're not going to blow many people out. You're looking at the stats from the Conference USA games. I mean, we've scored 149 runs in conference play.
Good number.
We've given up 147. So I mean, that's 2 runs overall in the season. A difference between the runs we've scored and the ones we've allowed. So they're all going to be close games, and we're going to grind it out. And they've been doing it all year. We finally got over the hump today, and we finally got the sweep at home. Great way to close out the Hayes for the season.
What was that? I think, and I don't have this in front of me, but I think 22-9 at home this year, I think was the number. It was. Yes. We had a very solid. I think that's the number. It's close, if not the exact number. But
the most home wins since we joined the Conference USA.
It was good. I mean, this was a good home schedule for this year.
And we went on the road. We went on the road to Georgia. So we took one of our normal home weekends out and plugged in a road series at an SEC team. But yeah, we've got so 3 less home opportunities, and we got the most wins since we've joined the conference at home. Yeah. It's fun to watch this team. It's fun to watch this team play. You know, like I said, they're not going to blow guys out. They're not going to get blown out on a normal basis. They're They're going to grind it out. They get down big. They're going to grind it out and find ways to win. And they've shown it. They've proved it all year. And we've seen it time and time again. Never count this team out. Even against the top notch opponents, or even
They're gutty.
the lower ranked in
Yeah.
our conference. Yeah,
They're gonna, as you say, they're gonna grind it out. Let's reset the table here. Talking Conference USA.
all right.
Things went our way this weekend. Not only did the Niners get the 3 wins they needed, but the folks that we needed to slip up a little bit did so for the most part, and we came into the week alone in 4th.
Yeah, we were
And-
half game up on the Roadrunners.
And we're still in 4th, except we have a bigger lead now.
Yeah, we got a game. We gained a game on UTSA.
Mm-hmm.
They went to ODU this weekend, and they lost one game this weekend. They took 2 out of 3, but they left the door open for us to kind of make some room in that 4th spot going into that weekend at UTSA this coming weekend. So that we've got a little more wiggle room. I think we need 1 win to clinch 4th place in the conference this weekend. So you mentioned getting some help. So we're 4.5 back of Southern Miss, who's in 1st place. They lost the series to La Tech this weekend.
Which nothing against Louisiana Tech because they're a great team, but I didn't see that coming.
No, Sandlin had been like lights out all year, and he finally slipped up a little bit. They got him. They got to him. End up taking that series. So Louisiana Tech is they're 2.5 back of Southern Miss going into the last weekend, tied with FAU, who had a little hiccup this weekend at MTSU. They took 2 out of 3, but they left the door open. We are in 4th place, right behind those two. We're 2 games back of 2nd place, really, in the conference. So we're 4.5 back, 16-11 on the conference. We got UTSA is right behind us, like we mentioned. They're a game and a half behind us, tied with FIU. They're both at 14-12. Going down to the conference, the only top 8 teams make the conference tournament. So UAB sitting at 7th, tied for 7th with Rice right now. At they're both 8.5 back, but UAB's 12-15, and Rice has had the 2 ties. They are 11-14-2. So I think since Rice beat UAB 2 out of 3 this weekend, I think they would be the 7th seed if the tournament started today. They've worked their way back into the mix, and Western Kentucky
Worked their way out of it.
Well, they are right there. They're a game out of the tournament right now. They're in 9th place at 11-16. They got swept by FIU. So
Let's do some real talk here for a minute. We're in 4th.
right,
We need 1 win to secure 4th next weekend
right,
against UTSA. We can get to 3rd. We can even get to 2nd, but we're going to need a lot of help. And Louisiana Tech and FAU are not playing teams that are going to help us.
yeah. Well, FAU is playing Old Dominion.
Yeah, one has Old Dominion and the other one
has-
has Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean Western Kentucky's still fighting for something though. So you never know. I've seen crazier things happen, but we would need a sweep to jump into 2nd place.
And here's the thing: I don't have a feel for this at all. Had several conversations in the stands this weekend, and the talk was all the same about UTSA. Are they any good? I don't know. Maybe we're showing our East Coast bias here, but I don't. I have no feel for UTSA. Their record, their record looks good. They're 28-21 on the season, so they're a winning ball club. But are they? How do we match up with them? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, they kind of under the radar a little bit. They were their RPI was like in the 60s, 70s a few weeks ago. They had a couple hiccups, and they're now sitting at they're sitting a little above 100 right now. We're sitting at what, 88?
I gotta say 89 right
89.
now. But so what we're talking about here, Kevin, is realistically, we're talking 4 seed or 5 seed, right?
That's more than likely scenario.
Yeah, more than likely. And because FIU is in there, but we've got the tiebreaker over them, so we should. We know we're going to Biloxi. We clinched that on Friday night, right?
We're in Biloxi.
We're going to Biloxi.
So UAB's 4 back of us, so they can't catch us. UAB and Rice, so none of those guys can catch us.
Right.
The only teams that can catch us right now are
UTSA
FIU
and FIU.
UTSA. Yeah. So
now here's a question, and I'm not I'm just being real here. Yeah, I want to finish 4th. I want to finish as high as we can, which finishing 2nd sounds awesome, but finishing 4th sounds better than finishing 5th. But realistically, does it matter?
Well, you're talking about when the conference tournament bracket
time, yeah.
You're talking, 4 and 5 seed play each other first day. I think the last game of the day is just the difference between the home team, who the home team is, which could be a huge factor when you look at it. But yeah, it'd be nice to sneak up into that 2nd or 3rd spot and end up going against the 6th or 7th seed on that first day. But realistically, we're going to play a 3-game series at UTSA, and then we're going to turn around and go to Biloxi.
Play them again.
Play that 4th game of the series. So there's going to be a lot of strategy going on. It's going to be interesting to watch what we do out there and what they're going to do. Because it's hard to. You play a team 4 teams in a row. It's. I think we saw it last year. Well, when 2 of the teams ended up playing each other in a conference tournament or a day after or a week after they just played a 3-game series. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'd like to get some help, jump into that 2 spot or 3 spot, but
this is interesting. Rice is at FIU this weekend.
So
that's an interesting matchup.
Yes.
Because this is what everybody's thinking. Where is Rice going to fall in this? Because if anybody from the bottom half of that bracket is going to do some damage, it's going to be them. This is what they did last year.
Yeah, they barely got in the tournament, and then they won the thing. And when we went down there a few weeks ago, that was when they announced that Wayne Graham wasn't returning, and we took them down to the wire and to get our series win against them, and they've been playing pretty good baseball.
FAU left before the game was over.
Well, I think they've won the last 2 series, right? Mm-hmm. Since we played them, so yeah, they're getting a little warm right now, and they played their way into the tournament.
It was just, this is the strategy and the scenarios are just endless. Is Rice the 8th seed? And if Rice ends up being the 8th seed, which they could be, I guess they could get as high as, let's see, they're 8.5 out. So, they could get, the 6th? If they're the 8th seed and Southern Miss is rolling in as the 1 seed, and here we are again, and they see Rice coming, how does that change their strategy? Normally you would not go with your Friday guy 1 versus 8, right?
Right. Well,
but if that 8 is a streaking Rice team, does that maybe enter their coach's mind? I don't know.
So
maybe
what?
Not,
so the game 1, the first game of that tournament's on a Wednesday. Mm-hmm. So you've got a Friday night guy pitching on short rest, really.
Yeah.
Or actually, the games this week start on Thursday.
Thursday through Saturday.
It's 1 day short rest. It looks like if you're going to go with your Friday guy, he's going to get 1 less day of rest on that.
And I'm
Wednesday.
not saying that they would. I just to me, the wild card in this tournament is the fact that Rice has played their way into it again. The Niners got the series victory over them, but it's not about Rice's record. It's the talent. We even in beating them, you could just see they got guys.
Yeah.
They are not your standard issue 8 seed.
Right. They've had injuries all year. We talked about it all season.
They got their Friday guy back to being their Friday guy. Was it Cantorino?
Yeah, and they've got some guys back, and they're playing with confidence now, and they're playing for the coach who's on his last few weeks of as their Rice baseball coach, and they got something to play for. So they've got a streak of like 23 straight seasons where they've made the NCAA tournament,
something like that, 23,
something crazy
24.
like that.
Yeah,
and
insane.
That's everybody thought it was going to end last year, and it didn't. And everybody said it was going to end this year, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So here they come again.
Yep.
I just had this maybe not so random thought, but how cool is this? How cool is this just to be able to, one, we're during the weekend, we're scoreboard watching, right? The only way you scoreboard watch is if you're in position for it to matter. And two, we're sitting here talking about conference tournament, seating possibilities, matchup potential, the whole thing. This is cool.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, RPI watching, scoreboard watching, everything at this time of year is always good.
It's a sign you're doing stuff that matters.
That's right. And like we were picked to finish sixth in the conference this year, and we were picked to finish sixth last year as well. We finished tied for third. Really, we ended up with the 4th seed. We were picked to finish sixth this year. We are sitting at 4 right now. Hopefully, we can stay there or better. But we got one more week of baseball to play. Got a big series against UTSA, and it's going to be at their place. I think
we haven't forgotten about the Winthrop game, by the way. We're going to talk about that in a second.
I think what they call it, the bird bath they play in.
Do they call it that?
I think so. I saw some people calling it that. But anyway, that's where we're playing this weekend.
The bird bath.
It's
Seriously?
Very intimidating. But anyways.
Whatever they say.
It's a lot at stake this weekend, Could be, I think we could finish anywhere from 2nd to 7th, right?
Yeah, and it's just going to be a lot of fun to watch this play out. What about this? What do you make of this midweek matchup? What about Tuesday? We go to Winthrop, and when they came to the Hayes Education Day midday game, on top of that, we pasted them. What do you think's going to be on their mind on Tuesday?
Well,
back on their campus.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. Well, it's gonna be a night game, right? And they're gonna. I'm sure they're gonna remember that, and not sure who we're gonna throw out there. Maybe, Pinckney, or maybe Cooner. Maybe his arm is. I don't know what his injury was, but it'll be interesting to see who we throw that day, and it's probably going to be a committee day because you don't want to burn up too many arms before you go out a big series at.
Can I throw something in right here?
Sure.
I just went to weather.com here. Right now, Tuesday night, chance of precipitation is like 80%. Just throwing that out there.
I think the Niners are heading down to. I think their flight leaves Wednesday, going down to San Antonio. So. If it don't happen Tuesday, then I don't think it's going to happen.
Look, I got no part in this, but I'll just ask the question: should it happen?
I don't know. I think you always want.
I want to win any game we have, right? But let's just face it: we don't need that game.
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be cool if we could just. We got to practice in that day, and then saved arms, and took them down to.
We got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
If we're not, but if we were in at-large position, then maybe there's a reason we need to win. We need to resume. We need this and that. But this is about Biloxi at this point.
Yeah. They're at 186 on the RPI right now. Just. So
I said Biloxi. I meant San Antonio. Sorry, I'm getting way too far ahead. This is about San Antonio this weekend,
Yep, you're right. So, and it's about getting the best seating in Biloxi. That's where you're going with it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm just questioning whether or not that game happens. The weather report doesn't look that great right now. Of course, that stuff can change, but,
They could always move it to a noon game, I guess. We're done with exams. We had our graduation this weekend. Congrats to all the guys that walked across the stage, saw some photos and video of that. Always great to see. So, but these guys they're done with school. All they got to do is play baseball, and
That's got to be pretty cool.
kind of like minor leagues, right?
Yeah, it's got to be pretty cool.
Get a trip to San Antonio and go play
So
some
maybe
ball.
Tuesday happens, maybe it doesn't. Either way, we're leaving Wednesday, probably Wednesday morning, on a flight to San Antonio.
Yeah, sometime Wednesday. That's what I heard. And
Well, I mean, I would assume they want to get there in decent enough time
Practice,
to
yeah.
do a walkthrough and all that stuff.
yeah, you wonder if they practice at the Hayes or practice there, but I'm sure they'll get out early and get out there. And,
Yeah. So we'll see. If the weather looks promising, maybe it'd be a good opportunity to go down to Winthrop. They have a nice ballpark. It's I wouldn't put it above the Hayes certainly, but it's not a bad place to go watch a ball game.
Yeah.
They have the world's largest batter's eye.
Yeah, that's right. I think they the way they aligned the home plate is right in the sun.
The sun.
Time. So they had to build it
Yeah.
pretty much a green monster in center field.
Basically, yeah, they did. So we'll see. Stay tuned, folks. We'll see if that game happens or not. But if it does, well, then we want to win it.
Right. That's
And
right.
if it doesn't, then let's save the arms and go to San Antonio, take care of business.
Yep, that would work. Got like you said, we got a big conference series to worry about, right?
Yeah, big stuff here. So recap of the week: big wins for the Niners, key losses for some folks we're trying to compete against in the conference standings. Things look good right now, Kevin. We're solidly in fourth, and we're sort of in the driver's seat as far as that goes.
Yeah, we control our destiny, and to a certain extent, fourth place is ours for the taking. So, in that sense, we control our destiny, and hopefully we can take care of some business out there. And it's to be a tough road series, but like I said, these guys grinded out. Nothing's too big for them, so looking forward to seeing them down at San Antonio.
All right. Well, I guess that's about it for this week. We're gonna wrap it up here. This is normally the part where I start telling you guys how to get tickets for any upcoming games, but kind of the sad part of the year in respect that we don't have any upcoming home games. We're done at the Hayes for the season.
Done at the Hayes, yeah. One thing I did want to mention before we get out of here is
go ahead.
the guys that graduated that walked across. We mentioned Zach Flanagan. Mm-hmm. Hunter Jones walked, I think, on Friday or Saturday.
I think it was Friday. It was Friday.
And Charlie.
Charlie Muchkat. We need to give a shout out to Charlie there. Probably the guy that he's working as hard as the players are, but he's doing it behind the scenes, right?
That's right.
He's not getting a whole lot of applause or accolades, whatnot. But Charlie, team manager, he's been there. Has he been there all? He's been there 4 years. He's been there a long time.
He seems like he's been there forever.
Yeah, Charlie's been there a long time, and man, everybody, if you've been to a ball game, you know you may have not known his name, but you know who Charlie is because he is the guy making everything happen down there on the field, just busting his tail. And I don't want to call it a thankless job because I know everybody appreciates him, but man, he's kind of he's a make it go guy.
Yeah, he's got the Winston-Salem Dash waiting for the end of our season, and then he's running into that job. So
Charlie's going into hopefully looking to launch a career in baseball.
That'll be sweet. Yeah, but they got to wait till the Niner season's over, right?
That's right, and hopefully that's not going to be for a while. What is that? I'm not going to get it right, but what is that NCAA commercial that not all of our athletes go pro and you know what I'm talking about. Charlie's going to be a pro Niner, but he's just not going to be
not in sports.
Yeah,
well, it is in sports.
Yeah, he's going to be a baseball pro Niner, but he's going to do it. He's not doing it as a player. That's still pretty cool, really cool to get to see him do that. So, you're right to point that out, Kevin. All these guys, man, that are getting degrees and everything and going on. We just that's what's going to be fun is as soon as we put and hopefully that's not going to be for a while, but as soon as we put the wrap on this season, we get to start really focusing in on following these guys over the summer and see what everybody's doing. So pretty cool stuff. So no tickets to tell you about, but don't worry, we'll be back at the Hayes. In the fall, right? We'll have fall ball and stuff like that, and so we'll see some of you guys out there. By that time, the indoor practice facility will be up and not won't be up and running, but it'll be way out of the ground, and that'll be cool to see. But awesome stuff. So what we're going to do is wrap it up here. We'll be back with you next week to talk about the Niners' victorious weekend in San Antonio. And hey, by this time next week, we'll know our conference seed, right?
That's right.
And we can actually start breaking down matchups and looking at strategies and where everybody falls. So awesome week. Enjoyed seeing everybody out at the Hayes. Enjoyed Senior Day festivities. Congratulations again to our seniors that walked. And congratulations to Zach and Haley on their engagement. Yeah. All that cool stuff. Awesome week of Niner baseball. So for Kevin and producer Brad, I'm Nick. And, if not next weekend, next fall, we'll see you at the Hayes.